Let me take you back, not to the sanitized halls of church history, and I am going to reveal to you the name that was erased, the name before names, the monad, the forgotten God before God that early Christians worshipped, the God before God. And if you hear it, truly hear it, you will never see the world the same way again. Because what if I told you that the God you were taught to worship is not the highest? What if the Father spoken of in Scripture is not the origin? What if there is something beyond the throne? Something so pure, so absolute, so unreachable that even calling it God is an insult. The early Christians knew. The Gnostics whispered it in secret gatherings. They called it the monad, and they were hunted for it. You are here because something inside you already knows. You are not like the others. You are the seeker, the one who feels the crack in the narrative. The one who senses that beneath the surface of every holy text, every doctrine, every commandment, there is a deeper current, a hidden river. And today that river breaks the surface. Let me take you back, not to the sanitized halls of church history, not to the polished altars of orthodoxy, but to the dust and candlelight of the 2nd century, to Alexandria, to Antioch, to the hidden communities who gathered in silence, who wrote in code, who understood that truth was not given, it was earned. These were the Gnostics, and they did not believe in a single God sitting on a throne, judging the world with wrath and mercy. They believed in something before that, something that does not judge because it does not even know you exist, something so far beyond creation that it never entered the game. They called it the monad, the one, the unknowable, the unnameable. Now, pause. If you feel something stirring in your chest right now, do not ignore it. That is recognition. That is the divine spark inside you, remembering what it forgot. And if you want to go deeper, if you are ready to walk this path with me, then subscribe to the Gnostic Archive, because this is only the beginning. The word monad comes from the Greek monos, alone, single, undivided. But it is not loneliness. It is completeness so absolute that nothing can be added or taken away. The monad is not a being. It is being itself, not a creator, but the source from which all creation flows without ever being touched by it. Think of it like this. Imagine a light so bright that it has never known shadow, a sound so pure it has never known silence, a presence so total that it has never known absence. That is the monad. It does not think, it does not plan, it does not desire. It simply is. But here is where it gets dangerous. If the monad is the true source, then what is the God of the Bible? What is Yahweh? What is the Father who creates the world in 6 days, who floods the earth, who demands sacrifice? The Gnostics had an answer, and it shattered everything. They said that the God of this world is not the monad. He is the demiurge, a lesser being, an archon, a false god who believes himself to be the highest but is merely an echo, a shadow, a fragment that mistook itself for the whole. Let that sink in. The God you were taught to fear is not the origin. He is a jailer. And this world, this material prison of flesh and suffering and death, it is his creation, not the monads. Now, I know what you are thinking. This sounds like heresy. This sounds like rebellion. And you are right. It is. But rebellion against what? Against a system that tells you to bow without question? Against a doctrine that says you are born broken and only salvation from outside can fix you? The Gnostics did not bow. They looked inward. They found the spark, and they remembered. Let me show you how this works, how the monad relates to you. Right now, in this moment, the monad does not create the way a sculptor creates. It emanates like light from the sun, without effort, without intention, without loss. The first emanation is called the pleroma, the fullness, a realm of divine beings called aeons, each one a perfect expression of an attribute of the monad: silence, wisdom, truth, life. These are not metaphors. These are living forces, consciousnesses beyond form, and together they form the totality of divine reality. But then something happened. One of the aeons, Sophia, which means wisdom, desired to know the monad directly. She reached too far. She emanated without her consort. And from that desire, that fracture, that fall, came the demiurge, the false god, the ruler of matter, the architect of ignorance. And he built this world, not out of love, but out of pride. If you are still here, if you have not turned away, then you are ready. So subscribe now to the Gnostic Archive, because the deeper we go, the more the veil lifts, and you will need a guide. Let us go deeper into the nature of the monad, because this is not just philosophy. This is the map of your own soul. The monad is called the unknowable for a reason. You cannot think your way to it. You cannot pray your way to it. You cannot earn it, bargain for it, or demand it, because it is not separate from you. It is the ground of your being, the silence before thought, the stillness before breath, the nothing that contains everything. In the Gospel of the Egyptians, a Gnostic text buried for centuries, it says the monad is a monarchy with nothing above it. Nothing, not even the concept of God, because God implies relationship, subject and object, worshipper and worshipped. The monad transcends even that. It is not a he or a she. It is not even an it. It is the silence that allows sound to exist. Now here is the mystery. If the monad is so far beyond, so unreachable, so unknowable, then why does it matter? Why does knowing about it change anything? Because you carry a piece of it, a spark, a fragment of the pledroma trapped inside the shell of flesh. The Gnostics called it the pneuma, the divine breath, and the entire purpose of gnosis, of knowledge, is to awaken that spark, to remember what you are, to realize that you are not this body, you are not this mind, you are not even this soul. You are a god in exile, a child of the monad, lost in the kingdom of the demiurge. And the moment you remember, the prison begins to crack. And the moment you remember, the prison begins to crack. Let me tell you what the Orthodox Church did with this knowledge. They buried it. They burned the texts. They branded the Gnostics as heretics. Why? Because if people knew they carried divinity within them, they would not need priests. They would not need intermediaries. They would not need salvation from above. They would find it within. And that is the most dangerous teaching in the world. The Council of Nicaea in 325 AD did not just define the Trinity, it erased the monad. It replaced the infinite, unknowable source with a God who could be controlled, defined, and weaponized. A God who needed a church, a God who needed obedience. But the monad needs nothing. It simply is, and so are you. Now let me give you the practical gnosis, the part that changes your life today, not in some distant heaven, not after death, right now, when you meditate, when you sit in silence, when you close your eyes and let the noise of the world fall away. What remains? Not thoughts. Thoughts come and go. Not emotions. Emotions rise and fall. Not even awareness. Awareness is still something observed. What remains is the witness, the silent presence that watches even awareness itself. That is your connection to the monad. That is the divine spark. And here is the key. The demiurge keeps you distracted. He fills your mind with desire, fear, ambition, guilt. He keeps you addicted to the material, to pleasure, to pain, to identity, to survival. Because as long as you believe you are this body, this name, this story, you will never look inward. You will never find the spark. You will never awaken. But you are awake now, or at least beginning to be. And that is why you found this video. That is why you are still watching. Because the monad does not call everyone, only those who are ready, only those who remember. If you feel that pull, that resonance, then do not walk away from it. Subscribe to the Gnostic Archive, join the sanctuary of the initiated, because this is not entertainment, this is transmission. Let me take you into the second movement, the relationship between the monad and the aeons, because this is where the cosmos begins, where eternity takes form. The monad, in its perfection, does not create, it emanates. Like the sun does not decide to give light, it simply does. The first emanation is Barbello, the Divine Mother, the first thought of the monad, the mirror in which the unknowable sees itself without being diminished. From Barbello comes the aeons, 30 divine beings, 15 pairs, each one a living attribute of the infinite, and together they form the pleroma, the fullness, a realm of perfect harmony, perfect knowledge, perfect light. But here is the crucial part. The pleroma is not separate from the monad. It is the monad's self-expression. The way a wave is not separate from the ocean. The way a ray of light is not separate from the sun. And you are not separate either. You are a fractal, a holographic fragment of the whole, every piece containing the pattern of the source. This is why the Gnostics did not believe in salvation. They believed in awakening, because you are not broken, you are asleep, and gnosis is the alarm. Now let us speak of the fall, because this is where the story becomes myth, where history becomes metaphor, where truth hides in symbol. Sophia, the youngest of the aeons, desired to know the monad directly, without her consort, without balance. She emanated alone, and from that unbalanced desire came a distortion, a shadow, a being born not from harmony but from yearning. The demiurge, Yaldabaoth, Saklas, Samael. He has many names, but they all mean the same thing. The blind god, the one who believes himself to be the highest because he has never seen what is above him. And he creates this world, this cosmos, this prison. He takes the fragments of divine light that fell with Sophia and traps them in matter, in bodies, in time, in death. And he calls himself God, and humanity bows, but the monad sends help. It sends messengers, aeons descend in disguise, they whisper the secret, they plant the seed of remembrance. In the Garden of Eden, the serpent is not the villain, the serpent is the liberator. It offers the knowledge that Yahweh the demiurge forbids, the knowledge that you are divine, that you do not need him, that the fruit of the tree is not sin. It is awakening, Dunlock. And that is why the Gnostics were hunted, because they read the story backward. They saw the serpent as Christ. They saw the Creator as the jailer. They saw the fall as the ascent. Let me make this clear. This is not about rejecting the material world. This is about seeing through it, not hating the body, but understanding that you are not the body, not despising creation, but recognizing that creation is a school, a test, a mirror, and the lesson is always the same. Remember what you are. The third movement now, the return, the path back to the monad, because that is the purpose of all this knowledge, not to make you bitter, not to make you feel trapped, but to give you the map out. The Gnostics taught that the soul must ascend through the 7 heavens, each one ruled by an archon, each one demanding a password, a secret name, a sign of initiation. And if you know the words, if you carry the spark, they cannot hold you. You rise through the spheres of the planets, through the layers of illusion, through the veils of forgetting, until you reach the boundary, the edge of the pleroma. And there, Sophia herself greets you, not as a goddess to worship, but as the part of yourself that fell so you could remember what it means to rise. And beyond that, beyond even the pleroma, the monad, But you do not arrive there. You dissolve into it, like a drop returning to the ocean. Not death, but the end of separation, the end of the illusion of self, the return to the One. This is the promise. This is the hope. Not heaven, not reward, but reunion with what you always were. Now, let me bring this down to earth, because all of this cosmic mythology means nothing if it does not change how you live. So here is the gnosis for today, for this moment, for your life right now. You are living in the kingdom of the demiurge. Every system, every structure, every institution that tells you what to believe, what to desire, what to fear is his architecture. The media, the economy, the religions that promise salvation if you obey, the governments that promise security if you submit, all of it, archonic, all of it designed to keep you looking outside yourself for answers. But the monad does not speak through systems. It speaks through silence. It does not command, it invites. It does not promise, it reveals. And the revelation is this: you are not a sinner. You are not broken. You are not small. You are a fragment of infinity, a spark of the eternal flame. And the only thing keeping you from realizing that is the lie you have been taught to believe. The lie that you need saving. The lie that you are separate. The lie that God is out there instead of in here. So what do you do with this knowledge? You stop waiting. You stop asking permission. You stop looking to priests, to gurus, to teachers for the truth. You go inward. You sit in the silence. You meet the witness. And you ask the only question that matters. Who am I before thought? Who am I before name? Who am I before form? And if you listen, really listen, the monad answers, not in words, but in presence, in the stillness that holds all things, in the nothing that is everything. This is the final movement, the culmination, the return to the source. The monad is not waiting for you to be worthy. It is not judging your actions. It is not keeping score. It is simply there, always, eternally, patiently, like the sun does not wait for you to notice it. It simply shines. Of Dry Jold Gorot Ambe. And when you remember, when the spark inside you ignites, when the veil falls away, you do not become something new. You remember what you always were, a god in exile, a child of the pleroma, a living emanation of the One. The early Christians who worshipped the monad understood this. They did not build churches. They gathered in homes. They did not write creeds. They shared visions. They did not follow priests. They followed the light within, and they were erased for it. But the knowledge did not die. It went underground, into the mystery schools, into the Hermetic texts, into the Kabbalah, into the Sufi mystics, into every tradition that dared to say the divine is not separate from you. It is you, and now it is here, in this video, in this moment, in your awareness, because you are the next link in the chain, the next bearer of the flame, the next one to remember, the next one to remember. So I will leave you with this. Do not take my word for it. Do not believe me because I said it. Go inward, sit in the silence, ask the question, and listen. Really listen. Not with your ears, not with your mind, but with the part of you that has always known. The monad is not a concept. It is not a theory. It is not a belief. It is the ground of your being, the silence before the word, the light before the world, the one before the many. And you are not separate from it. You never were. If this transmission reached you, if something inside you stirred, if the spark flickered even for a moment, then your work has begun. Subscribe to the Gnostic Archive. Join the sanctuary of those who remember, because this is not the end. This is the beginning, and the next revelation is waiting. The monad does not call the many, only the few, only the ready, only the ones who are willing to see beyond the veil. And you are here. So the question is not whether you are ready. The question is whether you will answer the call. Go now. Sit in the silence. And remember,